Well, road looks good on the map.
You mean that little dotted line? We're probably on some old logging path now.
You're the one who insisted on taping that Christmas tree cutting yourself, dragging me out in the middle of a snowstorm.
I didn't drag you out. You dragged yourself out, and I would have been just fine on my own. You men seem to think you have some kind of a magic radar when it comes to directions, and all you had to do was just ask somebody where we were.
Who am I gonna ask? Who am I gonna ask? We left civilization 2 hours ago.
I'm cold.
I'm cold, too.
Well, you're gonna have to figure out a way to get us home.
Well, I don't think that's possible now that the sun's gone down.
Well, you certainly don't expect me to be staying in this van for the night, do you? Do you?
Well, look on the bright side. At least you're not out here alone.
There you have it. A bit blunt. Lacked grace. But the sentiments were completely sincere. Carl, please don't throw cold water on romantic sparks.
You must be dreaming to even believe that there could be...
Yes, I have been dreaming. I've been dreaming a lot about you.
Stop it.
But how lovely you are.
This is ridiculous.
Yes, it is. And therefore, I am ridiculous. But isn't it wonderful? Rachel, I put away, years ago, I put away any thoughts of having such feelings again. And then, lo and behold, you.
You heard her, Cass. Under oath. Practically choking on every single word. Describing things so vile, so disgusting.
Please, stop,
I can
Felicia.
still hear her,
I
can
can't
you?
talk to you about her
I can
testimony.
even hear her that night, screaming for him to stop hurting her.
Felicia, don't
No,
do
I
this.
need to talk about my daughter here. Your brother raped her,
Felicia.
Cass. Everybody in this courtroom knows that. They saw Lorna's pain. They felt it. Now, how is it possible that you don't?
What are you doing?
Protecting myself. What does it look like I'm doing? If I'd have had this gun the night that you raped me, you wouldn't be standing here asking me stupid questions.
The guy who did this to you, he deserves...
Oh, shut up. Don't pull that garbage with me. The guy who did it to me is standing right in front of me, and he has a gun pointed at his head.
Lorna, after listening to you in court today, I can understand how you feel.
Understand this. You take one more step, and I'm going to blow your head off.
You are wallowing in some sort of adolescent fantasy. I don't know why I'm surprised, though. What other man at your age would be wearing a ponytail?
That's funny, Rachel. No more threats, Delilah. My follicles are still trembling.
Yes, well, why don't you take your follicles to someone who is more gullible?
Your family still need you. They want you back.
Do you have news about my family?
Yes. Yes, I do. All of it good. Now, Iris has scored a major triumph over Mr. McKinnon.
Well, good for her. She's been looking forward to doing that for a long time.
Yes, well, evidently the gods have smiled upon her. Jake signed off on an issue of Bravo magazine without so much as glancing at it.
I knew he would be a disaster, so she probably came down pretty hard on him, right?
Oh, she did more than that. She presented him with a mock-up cover of the magazine, and where it should have read Jake McKinnon, it simply said, Jerk McKinnon.
Well, that was perfect.
Yes, it was. Yes, our mistress of dirty tricks. She really had him going. She had Jake convinced that the magazine had been released just that way and that he was being proclaimed a dunderhead from sea to shining.
Good for Iris. I usually don't like her dirty tricks. But this one was pretty good. Brava, Iris.
Bravo, Rachel.
For what?
It's good to see you laugh.
Well, it's a good story.
But it's so much better when laughter's shared, isn't it? And it's hard to do it on your own. Don't ever be lonely, Rachel.
Why does everybody always assume just because you're alone, you're lonely? That's a cliché.
Well, clichés are rooted in a truth.
I was lonely when I first arrived here. So, you satisfied?
That little West Side hotel was a far cry from what you've been used to.
Yeah, I know, but it honed my survival skills.
Tell me, was a pretzel in Central Park any kind of substitute for Thanksgiving dinner with your family?
Oh, that pretzel? That pretzel was a... You have been stalking me? From that hotel to the park?
No, I've told no
one. And
one.
then to here?
I've told no one of your whereabouts.
How dare you? You are despicable. What else have you been doing? Peeking in windows? Going through garbage cans? You're amazing. You have ruined the little bit of peace I finally found here.
At least tell me you believe her now. I mean, you can give me that much, can't you,
This
Cass?
conversation is inappropriate. There are rules of
Oh,
ethics.
please. Do you think I give a damn about the do's and don'ts of you being a good little lawyer? I'm asking you to be a human being.
Cass has a job to
this
do,
husband
Felicia.
of
You
yours,
can't hold that against
this
him.
man who was once my friend, a man who I thought would never close his heart to me. This man is now my enemy.
That's just not true.
You broke my heart. You got all of us to say exactly what you wanted us to say up there. Even Jenna. Sweet Jenna, who's never lied to anyone. You almost got her to perjure herself in this courtroom.
I can't stand here and listen to any more of
Why? Because you're embarrassed? You know what you should be. And how you went after Victor Rodriguez. Oh, that was really slick, Cass. Oh, yeah. Ex-con, former druggie, Latino. You laid all that out. I mean, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, this is a man who could rape, not my brother, the doctor.
Alicia.
Oh, you got everything you wanted out of all of us. You scored big time, kid. You listen to me. Lorna was violated once. I will not let you rape her again.
No one would blame me if I pulled the trigger, you know.
I know you believe that. Your testimony, the look in your eyes, I know.
Shut up. Why did you follow me here?
I didn't follow you. I just came down here to get something out of Cass's car, that's all.
Right. You are so arrogant. You took what you wanted. Power, my body. That night, yeah. And every other night that I'm gonna lie in bed in the dark, afraid to close my eyes, you took that too.
I wish this didn't happen to you. I really do, God.
You as good as killed me that night. What's to stop me from killing you? What? What?
Oh.
We're cut off from the entire world. Thank you so much. This is just wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
You turn that
Thank
engine
you.
back on this instant.
We can't leave that engine on. It's too dangerous. If we happen to fall asleep with that
All
engine
right.
running...
All right. You really really know how to show a girl a good time. I mean, really, this is just a dream come true, Matthew.
All right, that's it. I'm out of here. I'm going.
You
I'm
can't leave me
going.
in here
I'm
alone.
going to find a phone,
I'll
Donna.
freeze to death
Just
in
lock
here.
the doors and don't turn on the engine.
Matthew, you come back here, Matthew! Oh.
I am not going to stand here and listen to anybody speak to my
Frankie,
husband
please.
that way, Felicia, especially not you.
Frankie.
It's painful, isn't it? Don't you ever ask me for anything again in the name of friendship. Ever.
This is totally unbelievable to me.
Are you furious with her?
Oh. Thank God I have you. I couldn't do anything half as well as I do without you.
Oh, honey, that's why I'm
No,
here.
I don't mean just, in a literal way. I don't mean with me physically. I mean that I have you here, you know, next to my heart and my soul.
Yes, is this your way of asking me to leave?
The things that Felicia said to me. The things she accused me of. The way I've gone after the prosecution's witnesses. I know I'm just doing my job. But I'm ashamed of it. It makes me feel so badly.
I
Frankie.
know it feels bad, but honey, this...
I don't want you here for the cross-examination. I don't want you to watch what I have to do to Lorna. It would be even harder for me to do this with my wife and my child listening to this.
Okay. If you're throwing me out, I'm going to try to make the birthing class. And after this trial is over, we have got to get serious about our breathing exercises,
I know, I've got
baby,
my-
because I'm counting on you.
I got my stopwatch ready, don't worry. Let me walk you down to the
I'll
lobby.
be fine. I'm very proud of you. You remember that.
Okay, I'll see you later.
Okay. I love you.
I don't know who he is anymore. I know he's going to go after Lorna on the stand.
Well, he's certainly going to try. That's his job. But, Felicia, I really don't think we have to worry. Lorna's testimony was very compelling. I even saw some tears in the few
Dana,
jurors' eyes.
listen to me. She's not perfect. Lorna hasn't always been a young role model.
Felicia, that is not required of a victim.
I don't know about that. You know, people are hypocrites. I mean, they'll cry over their own daughters, but my daughter, your daughter, a woman invites a man up to her hotel room for a drink or a rock star's room. What do you think people say? They say, well, she deserves it. She knew what she was doing.
Felicia, calm down. At this point, that entire jury is completely on her side. They care for her like you do. I can feel that. So if that defense attorney, if he comes off and attacks her, he and his client are going to come off looking very, very bad.
I hope you're right. Thank you.
Look, the recess is almost over. I want to talk to Lorna before she takes the stand again. Do you know where she is?
No, but I know she's going to be back very soon.
For God's sake, I'm not going to shoot you. You are definitely over the edge.
You put me there.
I didn't almost pull the trigger. Now, sooner or later, you're going to have to start dealing with reality. Not just the way your paranoid mind sees things.
You followed me down here. You're the one who went against the order of protection. Shall we add another felony charge to the list?
I didn't follow you. Now, even if you have a permit for this thing, I think it might sway the jury just a little to know that you threatened me at gunpoint. Or are you going to claim that I pulled the gun on you? You see, that would fit your usual pattern.
You're threatening me right now.
I'm not threatening you. I'm just waiting for you to calm down. Now, I suggest that we forget this whole ugly scene ever went down.
Yes, that would be convenient for you.
For both our sakes. You see, I cannot prove I wasn't following you, and you cannot explain this gun.
Of course I wasn't stalking. You were in Central Park. I was keeping you safe.
And what is that little bit of knowledge going to cost me?
Your whereabouts are safe with me. I'll reveal it to no one. You can hold me to that.
And I'm supposed to believe that you went to all that trouble to find me.
Well, actually, it wasn't very difficult.
And you're just going to keep it to yourself? No ulterior motives?
Not a one.
Well, that's a red letter day for Carl Hutchins. But I still feel the same way. I want to be alone. That's your cue to exit.
Well, I shall leave you to contemplate the stars and all those lonely windows. Bonne nuit.
You will not tell anyone where I am.
I know how little you value my word, but I give it nonetheless.
So nobody got hurt. That's a blessing. Lorna, you look a little shaky. You look a little shaky. Are you okay? Court goes back into session in a few minutes.
I'm fine. I can handle anything that your husband throws at me.
He's not enjoying this, Lorna.
Poor Cass.
Are there actual bullets in that thing?
Yeah. Perfect.
Excuse me, but that gun is registered in my name.
Yeah? Well, I suggest that you report it lost or stolen.
That would be just like you, wouldn't it, Morgan? Grabbing what's not yours to grab and then doing what you want with it.
My God. Morgan, you could have been seriously hurt. Both of you could have been seriously
Frankie,
hurt.
you think I don't know that? I am a doctor. God, you know, night after night in the ER, brains, you know, spilling out of a 2-inch hole into an innocent bystander's head. Babies who will spend an eternity in a little pine box because Daddy's finger slipped while he was cleaning his gun. I'm so sick of guns. I would never buy a gun. I would certainly never shoot a gun. But believe me, Lorna was this close. Frankie.
Okay, look, she's been through a lot. I know that that's no excuse.
I know. I saw her testimony when I saw her on court today. On the stand. It made me sick. I don't understand that kind of violation. The desire to crush another human being. I could never rape someone.
That was very clear to me.
I wish you were on the jury, Frankie. I saw their faces after Lorna's testimony. They've already convicted me. They've convicted me.
It's not over yet, okay? It's not over yet.
You know, when Lorna had the gun on me, for a second, I wish you'd just go ahead and shoot me. And then
Stop that! You stop that right now!
No, but then we were struggling, and I got the gun. You see, I guess the doctor in me can't help trying to save a life. Even my own.
Well, thank God for that. I'll go back upstairs with you, okay?
No, Frankie. You have to take care of this
I am
baby.
taking care of my family. Now, no arguments from you. And thanks for getting rid of that gun.
Pleasure. We'll let the rats play cops and robbers.
Are you all right?
Fine, fine. Can't you tell? I've never been better.
Honey, I know this is going to be very hard.
Yeah, well, no one knows that better than I do.
Lorna, what is going on?
I just can't stand these people looking at me and
well, you're
whispering
going to have to
about
take
me.
it, Lorna.
Dana, please. She's very upset
Yes,
right now.
I can see that. That's the problem. We're at the end of a very long, hard day here, Lorna, but it is not over yet. The cross is going to be very difficult.
No kidding.
Don't waste your anger on me. If Cass can't shake you on the stand, then he's lost it. And he knows that. Believe me, the only people at this moment who are not on your side are sitting at that defense table.
Honey, she's right. I mean, everyone in this room was very moved by your testimony.
Do you remember our rehearsal?
Yes.
You were tough, but you need to be even tougher. Cass's job for the next half hour is to change the jury's sympathy into doubt. Don't you let them do that.
And how am I going to stop him?
Answer calmly and as briefly as possible. And please, Lorna, just try to keep your cool. Keep my cool.
Listen to me. Would it help you right now if I left?
Don't you dare.
What are you doing back?
The snow is turning into a blizzard.
It's my fault, Cass.
You're kidding.
I thought it would be safer for the menfolk to drive me home, so.
All rise. Court is back in session. The Honorable Francine Scott Cohen presiding.
Please be seated. Let me caution you all again to be respectful of these proceedings. The sensitive nature of this trial demands it. Mr. Winthrop, do you wish to cross?
Yes, Your Honor, thank you.
Miss Devon, will you take the stand? May I remind you, Miss Devon, you are still under oath?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Ms. Devon, I hope you had enough time to recover from your previous testimony.
I'm fine, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, Ms. Devon's harrowing account of her experience has caused a shift in my thinking. In my opening statement, I introduced the possibility that the attack was nothing more than an unfortunate fabrication by a sad, unbalanced young woman. However, listening to Ms. Devon's account of the events on the evening in question, I was deeply moved. I think it's safe to say that everyone in this courtroom was equally moved. I have a confession to make. I was mistaken. As of this moment, the defense is in complete agreement with the prosecution. Lorna Devon was definitely raped.
Order, or I'll have this courtroom cleared. Mr. Winthrop, is there a reason for this statement of yours beyond the desire to turn these proceedings into an emotional free-for-all?
I wasn't trying to be provocative, Your Honor. I believe that Lorna Devon was indeed raped. However, that doesn't necessarily follow that my client was the rapist.
I object, Your Honor. Counsel's opinion is irrelevant here.
Sustained. Mr. Winthrop, why don't we try it this way? You ask a question, Miss Devon will answer. How does that sound?
Just fine, Your Honor.
I should hope so. Proceed, Counselor.
I know this is difficult for you, but we have to go back to the night of the rape. In your deposition, it's quite clear that for a variety of reasons, there were more than a few gaps in your memory of exactly what happened that night.
I remember being raped.
Ms. Devon, when you and my client and the other man went back to your apartment, you said at first things were friendly.
Yeah. We danced.
Do you remember what time that was, approximately?
We must have left Sassy's around 8.
So, a little after 8 then. What time did the other man leave your apartment?
I don't know. I thought that he would take Morgan with him when he left, but he didn't, and he just left anyway.
Well, let's estimate. Probably sometime around, say, 9, you were left alone with Dr. Winthrop, who then attempted to get romantic.
There was nothing romantic about it. He was pawing at me. He tried to take my clothes off. I told him to forget it. He obviously had a problem with the word no, so I told him to get out of my house. Now, how many times do I have to repeat this? Because I will. I will say it over and over again until it is understood.
Hopefully, this will be the last time. You testified that you passed out on the couch. Do you remember passing out, Miss Devon?
I closed my eyes. Yes, I remember just wanting to be alone.
It's understandable. What time did you pass out?
I don't know.
Let me ask you this, and again, forgive me for making you relive this. But you say that you remember being raped.
Is that a question?
No, I'm sorry, it wasn't. Can you please tell the court what time the rape occurred?
Objection! Does counsel suggest that my client should have checked her watch?
Overruled. Mr. Winthrop, proceed, but with caution.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'm going to make this as easy as I possibly can for you. You left Sassy's around 8. Morgan Winthrop's friend Kyle left your apartment around 9. Soon after, you and Dr. Winthrop argued. What this court needs to hear from you, Ms. Devon, is, to the best of your recollection, how much time elapsed between the time you asked Dr. Winthrop to leave and the moment you woke up with a man on top of you.
Loretta, how would you like some New England boiled dinner? It's my mom's recipe. Loretta? Guess I'm eating alone. Rach playing poker at the firehouse down the block. Free beer. Come on over, your pal, Loretta.
If this is business, call me at KBAY. If it's personal, this is your chance. So go for it.
Matthew? Matthew? It's your mom. Just calling to check in. Everything's fine where I am. Hope everything's going well with you, and I'm sorry I missed you. Yeah, well, bye. Oh. So you do peek in at windows, don't you?
Believe it or not, the last thing I expected was to find you toiling away down here. I planned to charge Loretta with the task of delivering this to you.
One rose? What happened to the whole bouquet? Your reputation's gonna suffer, you know.
Ah, please, please, no more lady disdain. I even have a note of apology in my pocket. Yes. Yeah. You know, after I left you up on the roof, I went walking about for a couple of hours, chasing a feeling that I couldn't quite name. I went into a little bistro. The maitre d' came out to me, a couple of menus in his hand, sat me down, and asked, "Will Madame be joining you, Monsieur?" Well, it was in that instant that I realized the lie in what I told you earlier. You see, the truth being, I'm the one who's lonely.
Donna! Donna! Open the door! Donna! Donna, I told you to lock the door. What's the matter with you? Donna! Donna! Where did she go? Where the hell did she go? Donna! Donna, will you get in here? What are you doing? Get in here. I'll come back to the van. You're not here. What am I supposed to think? What am I supposed to think?
I was trying to follow you.
Oh, you're trying to follow... Oh, that's really bright. That's really bright.
My fingers are stuck in my gloves. Oh Oh, my
There you
fingers
go.
are frozen. Ah.
Right.
Did you find a phone?
No.
Oh, no. Or are we going to be stuck here all night?
Listen till the big guy upstairs turns off the snow machine.
What does it mean when you can't feel your toes?
Here, come here.
Oh.
You call this a shoe? It's December.
A woman expresses herself through her footwear.
Oh, yeah, and what are you trying to say with these? I'm suicidal?
I felt vulnerable.
If you feel vulnerable, wear combat boots.
Well,
These are a joke.
I didn't want to fight the feeling. I wanted to be open to it.
You know, we're going to catch pneumonia if we don't get out of these wet clothes.
Oh, well, excuse me. Let me just go into the glove compartment and get my emergency
Donna,
wardrobe.
this is an emergency. We don't have a choice. Now, I suggest we go in the back and get undressed. There's a nice big camera blanket back there.
You want me to strip?
Come on, you don't have a choice. It's life or death. Now, come on. Take your clothes off.
You? You?
I tried to stop.
Finally. At least my slipper's dry. You know, silk is actually a very warm material.
Yes, you look rather toasty. I'm in 100% cotton myself.
But at least we have something on. Can you imagine if they find our poor frozen bodies in the morning? What a scandal that would be.
No skin off our noses, we'd be dead.
Well, that's a very selfish thing to say. What about our families and our children?
We don't have any children.
That's right, you are one of the children. What are you doing?
I'm trying to get warmer. Now, give me a hug. Here.
Absolutely not. No, I don't need this much blanket. You take care of the blanket.
No, that's why you're so blue-looking, right? It's a fashion statement. Would you come on? This is a matter of survival. Body heat is the only thing that's going to save us. Now, you want to see Marley and Vicky again, don't you?
Matthew.
Come on. Come on.
Matthew.
Come over here.
This isn't fair.
I know. Oh.
Matthew.
Okay, see, that's better already. All right, move your feet up. All right. This isn't so bad now, is it? Hmm?
This is as bad as it gets.
Thank you for the flower.
Thank you for accepting it. You know, when you first left Bay City and I tracked you down here to the west side.
Yes, how did you manage that?
I heard the unmistakable bellow of the QE2 over the telephone. It was almost too easy.
Honestly.
But you know, when you first left Bay City, it was only then that I realized how much of my life, part of my life had become.
Oh, come on.
It's true. I mean, our business arrangement had flowered into a very personal attachment for me. I found myself wanting to help you, wanting to do things for you.
Yes, well, you have helped me. I have not denied that. It's just that you have also created quite a problem between me and my family.
Well, that was never my intention. I only wanted to raise my standing in the community and involve my son in my life.
Yes, well, you haven't done either. And you've lowered my standing in the eyes of my family, especially Amanda.
I'm sorry about that. But Amanda has much to learn about the compromises that life sometimes forces on even the most ethical people.
Yes, well, I have a feeling she's learning that lesson now.
Well, I'm a firm believer that we get what we need in this life.
That's quite a justification for misfortune.
Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be regarded as misfortune. I mean, why not look upon it as an opportunity? An opportunity to deal with whatever the world tosses at us.
Yes, well, now you sound like my mother. She was quite a one for making a silk purse out of a sow's ear.
Oh, Ada was a grand old soul. The world needs more like her.
Well,
I think we've done the recipe.
Excuse me.
Sorry. Well, I best be off.
Yes. Well, no, you can stay if you want. I mean, you don't have to go. I was cooking some New England boiled dinner. That's corned beef and cabbage. Do you like that?
It's my favorite dish.
No, it isn't. You're lying to me.
Yes, I am. I've never tried it.
Yes, well, you may try it if you like. I have enough for two.
How long were you passed out, Miss Devon?
A few seconds.
Are you sure? Could it have been longer? A few minutes, maybe?
No, I just closed my eyes.
You said you asked my client to leave?
I definitely asked him to leave.
And then?
I passed out. And then after the rape...
You passed out again. During the time you were conscious, during the rape... I'm sorry, would you like to take a minute?
No.
Then, can you remember anything that might help us establish what time it was? A clock chiming, a garbage truck driving by, a loud noise of any kind.
No, I don't think so.
And yet you were absolutely sure no time passed between your telling my client to leave and the rape taking place.
I'm sure.
Why? What makes you so sure?
I just am.
Okay. You testified that you remember smelling my client's cologne, a very specific recollection. Is there anything else about him that you remember at that moment?
Excuse me?
I know this is traumatic, but please try to concentrate. This will all be over very shortly. Just try to remember if you saw anything in my client's face at that moment when he was on top of you during the rape.
Do I have to answer this? Objection, Your Honor. The witness has already described to this court the attack in heartbreaking detail.
Yes, she has. However, nowhere in her testimony today or in the deposition that was given after the rape did she describe the rapist's face, what he looked like at that moment. Your Honor, my client's entire future is at stake here. I'm simply asking the witness to recall some simple detail of the rapist's face at that moment while she was being raped. How closely shaven he was, how long his hair was, anything.
Miss Kramer's objection is overruled. Please, answer the question, Miss Devon.
You all right? You all warmed up? Your feet warm?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm warm too. My feet are good. You have beautiful hair, you know.
Matthew.
So soft.
Matthew. Matthew, we can't do this. Matthew.
We have to do this.
We do. We do have to do it.
It's curious, isn't it? I mean, here we are in the greatest city on earth, surrounded by cultural riches, and neither one of us have taken advantage of them.
How do you know?
You really have been following me around this city. Boy, that makes my blood curdle.
I'm not doing it anymore. I've sworn off since it bothers you so much. But you know, you could look at my presence here as an opportunity to see an opera, theater, museums. I mean, this sow's ear could be fashioned into a silk purse of an escort. Not that you require an escort, of course.
Traviata's playing here. That was the first opera I ever saw. 8th grade. The school took us into Chicago at the Lyric.
Violetta, the delicate flower.
Yeah, well, this one wasn't so delicate. She was about 200 pounds.
Well, those sopranos are often big girls.
So in the death scene, when she falls into her lover's arms, she just flattened him.
It gave you a giggle, didn't it?
It did.
And it didn't put you off.
No, but it got us in trouble. Oh, well. Anyway, a few years later, we went back and saw Carmen, and I was hooked.
Carmen, oh, my Carmen. Well, I mustn't overstay my welcome. Your mother's corned beef and cabbage rates 4 stars. Thank you very much for sharing it with me. Enjoy your evening. Give my best wishes to Loretta.
Ms. Devon.
It's very hard. It's very hard.
There must be something. My client's face is not without distinction. There must be something you remember.
I'm trying.
Let me remind you that you testified that the rapist said something like, yes, here it is, you know you want it. You remember the cologne. Your senses were functioning. My client is sitting right here in front of you. Surely you can recall one significant detail of his face during the rape.
Miss Devon, if you don't answer the question, I'll have to find you in contempt.
I'm sorry. While the rape was happening, I didn't...
You didn't what?
He was on top of me, and he was pushing against me, and his face was in my neck. I couldn't breathe.
Please, answer my question. Do you remember seeing his face while you were being raped?
I never saw his face.
Water, please. Water in this courtroom, or I'll have to clear it. Order. I will have order in this court, or I will clear it. Do you hear me? Order in this court, please.
Oh, girls, have you seen the snow outside? It's incredible. It looks like Christmas heavy.